Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Sean. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to cover something that just happened a couple of hours ago. Basically, the People's Action Party, PAP, which is our incumbent party, the one currently in power, just secured a commanding mandate, implying that they continue on for the next term. So we can see that, the Workers' Party, the opposition, actually held their ground. Although a lot of the smaller candidates actually lost their deposit and also
I look left, look right, look left, look right.
I'm just sharing my personal viewpoints on the key moments that I felt were the turning point in this election, and what I feel when PAP said they wanted to retain their strong mandate to signal stability to our neighbors, and this is supposedly supposed to help us in terms of economic gains. I'm going to cover why I don't think this is true, because long story short, it can lead to this kind of dominance can lead to complacency or a political monopoly. So first off, we're going to talk about, like I said, Workers' Party, right?
Will you choose change?
In terms of their performance, they didn't capture any new seats, but their resilience was pretty impressive because they've always managed to secure what they need to. But I feel like the whole current incumbent party always shifts the goalpost. They make more seats so that they can retain the same ones, and they only allow this amount of wiggle room for the opposition to try and get more seats. So in head-to-head contest with PAP, statistics show that they edged out 50.04% to PAP's 49.96%. Basically, it's a near tie. It's showing that a lot of Singaporeans, especially young ones, I think, at least on the grounds, I hear a lot of us are waking up. So as first-time contenders, they scored 44.8% in Punggol, and I think it was pretty impressive that they did 47.3% in Tampines. They also had 2 NC MPs, which is non-constituency MP seats. Next off will be like Ng Chee Ming's cabinet prospects. So his potential cabinet role has actually sparked a lot of debate because he only had a very narrow win in Jalan Kayu, which was so tight it triggered a NCMP seat. So PM Lawrence Wong actually said that he could be minister material, but I find it surprisingly, at least for me, that someone with such a slim mandate is in line for such a top role. Additionally, I'll discuss about Dr. Chee Soon Juan's campaign in Sembawang West SMC. It came with some caveats, though, like running as SDP, Singapore's Democratic Party's candidate. He actually managed a pretty impressive 46.81% against PAP's Po Lee Sun. Something I noticed is that she only won with 53.19. So for a very newly carved out constituency, that's quite a strong showing. And basically, I think he's a lot of people, at least netizens, also say that he's a lot mellow compared to how he portrayed himself in the 2000s. I think he learned from the mistakes of the past, and like following into the other dissidents of like Gopalan Na, or who's the other guy that did a lot of those Hong Lim Park rallies, Roy Nung. I think it's not wise to step on the toes of the incumbent too much because they basically have the power. So I think you have to do it very tactfully, and I think he's doing that now. And I think it'll be Jeremy Stan. He did a very good run as an independent candidate. He's actually like a common Redditor. He actually posts on Reddit, which I've been following, and he's also a Bitcoin maxi. So if you guys know me, I'm also a Bitcoin maxi.
We accept that one of us.
I'm not saying that I think it's going to change the world as a new world order, but I do believe it's the future of the reserve currency and the death to the hegemony of the dollar. But I guess without that tag, like the whole Bitcoin rhetoric, he actually might have swayed more elderly voters, which is unfortunately like the older population, which is controlling most of the voting, because they're just a larger percentage of the voters. But his success actually shows that, like, I at least feel like it's very promising for Singapore's future because a lot of the younger voters are turning out, and it also shows that independents can thrive with good branding and hard work. As all the old people want to say, we don't work hard enough. But yeah, it's something that I look forward to. So next off, like to wrap things up about their strong mandate, right? They keep saying that they want to make sure that the incumbent wins because it shows political stability. I mentioned that at the start of the video, but why I don't believe this to be true is because I mean I can see the logic, with winning by like 65, 66%, they argue that it would reassure our surrounding neighbors, Malaysia, Indonesia, and global investors that Singapore is a safe bet, right? And that this kind of stable governance attracts capital inflows, foreign direct investments, and help tackle issues like cost of living and harmony within our country. But I want to warn about like the concerns with the flip side, because this narrative actually cements like single party dominance. And the worry I have is that it's complacency and it stifles fresh ideas, because they're ruling like how they used to do in the past, which isn't wrong. I mean, it took us from where Lee Kuan Yew started out to independence, right? Like from a slumbering Malay fishing village to like a bastion of economic prowess. But you can't rule it the same way.
This is not a game of cards.
We're moving into a new paradigm, right? There's new technology, there's new AI. I mean, they're doing things like a third sovereign wealth fund, investing into AI, like Temasek, GIC, they're all doing these new measures, which are great initiatives. But I think that them using this rhetoric to frame it as a threat to stability is like, it's a cop out, dude. It's cap. But yeah, I think the economic benefits of a strong mandate don't outweigh the dangers of a political monopoly, because I know that everybody likes to complain that Singaporean ministers are paid a lot, but I honestly believe that they deserve to be paid that much, because if they're running such a steady ship, and I rather they be paid well than have corruption like in elsewhere across the world. So I've always been an advocate just to have more balanced political representation. I'm not saying that what they're doing isn't a good job, and it's also very nuanced. I know I got a comment in the last video saying that it's easy to talk. I've already mentioned that many times. It's very easy to come sit on an armchair or on a beanbag and come and talk about politics. But one thing I'm just trying to drive forward and to inform viewers is to actually like vote wisely in the future, and also to make sure that there's balanced representation, because you need checks and balances. That's what we learn in history. Okay, I'm not talking about like social studies. We just learn that in history, when you let a regime go on without checks and balances, that's when shit happens. So yeah, that's my breakdown of GE 2025. I like how Workers' Party like retain its seats. I like its resilience. I respect Dr. Chee's campaigning, even in such a short time, and I actually think Jeremy Tan's the future, because he's a Bitcoin maxi, and not just because of that. I think it just shows that younger people are stepping out. So as always, share your thoughts in the comments below. If you like soft content, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.